Thanks for checking in, guys. It's Friday night. Hope everybody had a good week. Tonight we're going to focus more on the storm for Super Bowl night into Monday morning. And right now there's a lot of good model agreement on the area that will get the heaviest snow. Where there's not great agreement, or why we have to really wait until tomorrow to put out the final forecast, or why I want to wait, is just because we have to see where that mixing line is going to be. Is it going to be down near Philadelphia, or is it going to be a little bit more to the north? Today, most of the models kept that mixing line around Philadelphia, but some latest guidance is trying to bring it a little north. And I want to take you through tonight what has to happen for that mixing line to stay further south, especially for the folks who are down in central Jersey and close to the Philadelphia area. But places in North Jersey and eastern New England, I'm expecting a really good snow event out of this. Again, the risk is to the north. Okay, so there could be some shifts, but we'll be able to iron that out by tomorrow morning, especially when tonight's guidance comes in. But let's take a look at what's going to cause this storm here and move on to it. So we have this nice storm here in the southern branch of the jet stream. Okay, you got this nice little low pressure system, upper level low. And what's going to happen is a piece of this is going to come out and try to merge with a piece coming off of the northern jet stream right here. So you can see that trying to interact. And if I zoom in here, you can see that going on. Now the question is, how much does this really dig into this? Because if it digs a little too much, it's going to raise the heights ahead of it, and that's going to fight off an area of high pressure that we have sitting just to the north ahead of the storm. Now, I want to point out that that high pressure is not just going to go out to sea, and the reason is because we have something called a 50-50 low. I talk about all the time. See this little trough here in southeastern Canada? Well, that's a typical 50-50 low, and that anchors in the high pressure area that's sitting over here. And it's also signature of a negative NAO. So you have your ridge over Greenland, negative NAO, 50-50 low, holds in cold air in place. So ahead of this storm, if you look here, guys, there's going to be cold air. Okay, so let me go back in here and show you. So by the time before we get to Sunday, it's going to be brutally cold this week. So this weekend ahead of the storm. So cold air is in place. The question is how much cold air leaves ahead of the storm. So let's go to the surface map here for a second and take a look at what the latest GFS model is projecting. Okay, so this is as the time we get to Sunday afternoon. You can see our low pressure center is cutting to the west. Now the reason it's not going up into lakes is because, again, you have all of this high pressure. So low pressure is just not going to take out high pressure, so it's going to resist it. And what happens is the low slides along this pressure gradient. Okay, so it's going to want to slide between where the warm moist air is to the south and the cold dry air is to the north. That natural baroclinic zone is where the low pressure is going to slide. So this is a new GFS model, and you can see Sunday night it brings heavy snow into the area. And the new model says, hey, you know what? This mixing line might be a little more in central Jersey. So let's go through why it's actually doing that. So if I go here to, let's go to 54 hours, and I'll show you something. So basically, we're going back to 18,000 feet. Okay, here's that northern disturbance trying to tap into some southern energy. So we know there's going to be a lot of moisture with the storm, and all that moisture is running into the dome of cold above it. So it's called an overrunning precipitation event. See where these lines are kind of coming together here over New England? Well, that's called a confluence zone, and usually a confluence zone, or in all cases, a confluence zone at 18,000 feet is going to cause high pressure just to the left at the surface. Now, if this digs a little bit more, so let me show you an example here of the differences in the runs. So this was the 12Z run, okay? So here's the 12Z run. Now keep an eye over here. Look at the new run. See how that dug a little more? Old run. New run. So that digs a little more. What happens is this confluence zone, see these lines that are coming together and kind of flat? Watch how in the 18Z run, which is coming next, watch how this, just look at the 534. Now watch how it moves north a little bit. See that? So that little tiny shift at 18,000 feet is a difference between at the surface where the rain is and where the snow is. So again, it's a difference between having a rain-snow line there, okay, or on the old run, having it down there. New run, old run. So that's what we really have to narrow in on over the next, say, 12 hours. And tomorrow I'm going to come up with a final map. This is what I have now, 6 to 12 inches. Again, why is the range 6 to 12? Well, to the north here, I expect closer to 12, even potentially 8 to 14 up in here. Down here, closer to 6. So the general range, this is a preliminary forecast of 6 to 12. But we have to see where this little blue line moves up. Is it going to move up to central Jersey, is it going to stay here? So I should be able to iron it out by tomorrow morning and put out the final forecast. But overall, I like what I have. We'll see how these models shift. Yes, there's a chance that the whole thing could go too far to the north, and even most of New Jersey gets cut out of snow. But again, I don't think tonight will be a drastic change to show that. The only model showing that now is the UK Met, which is not agreeing with the European, which is south. So I'm not buying that scenario at this time. Stay tuned, and there will be a big update tomorrow morning.